Life will test you, bend you, shake you, but it cannot break you unless you hand it the permission. Positivity is not ignoring the storm, it is becoming the storm's master. My dear one, life is a long, winding river. Sometimes it flows gently, sometimes it roars with storms that shake your spirit, but hear me well. The human soul is stronger than anything it will ever face. The world may try to dim your light, but you were not created to be dimmed. You were created to rise, to shine, to stand again. Even when the ground beneath you trembles, staying positive is not pretending to be okay. It is choosing to trust the strength carved into your bones. It is choosing to breathe, even when the air feels heavy. It is choosing to see hope, even when the horizon looks dark. Today, let us learn how to stay positive in any situation, not because life is easy, but because you are powerful. When the world feels heavy and the nights feel endless, remember this: your story is not over. Every hardship is shaping you, polishing you, preparing you. Do not surrender your peace to temporary circumstances. Do not give your joy to people who did not create it, and do not let fear walk you out of the house where faith belongs. Positivity is not loud, it is gentle. It whispers, try again. It hums, it sings, this too shall pass. Raise your chin, straighten your back, feel the fire that has lived inside you since the day you took your first breath. Life may not always be fair, but you can always be fierce. Protecting your inner peace is not a luxury, it is a necessity. In a world that constantly demands your attention, that whispers doubt into your ears, that throws obstacles in your path, your peace becomes your most sacred possession. It is the quiet river flowing beneath the surface of your life, the calm within the storm, the light that refuses to flicker even when darkness presses close. To protect it, you must first understand that it is yours alone. No one has the right to disturb it unless you grant permission. Your thoughts, your emotions, your mind, and your heart are your territory. When you allow every insult, every criticism, every gossip, and every negative word to intrude, you give your power away. You give the world the keys to your happiness, and once they hold it, it is easily lost. So stand guard over your inner world. Do not let the noise of chaos, the opinions of others, or the pressures of life erode the tranquility you were born with. To protect your peace, you must learn the art of discernment. Not every battle is yours to fight. Not every word deserves a response. There will always be people who try to provoke you, situations that test you, and moments that push you to your breaking point. It is easy to react, to raise your voice, to match anger with anger, negativity with negativity. But the truly wise understand that peace is not maintained by reacting to every storm. It is maintained by choosing which storms to step into and which to let pass by. You do not have to engage with every conflict, answer every accusation, or defend yourself to everyone who questions your worth. There is power in silence. There is strength in walking away. And there is freedom in knowing that your energy is too valuable to waste on the battles that do not serve your growth. Your inner peace also demands that you protect it from your own thoughts. Many people are their own harshest critics. They replay old mistakes, punish themselves for things they cannot change, and cultivate a garden of worry and fear in their minds. To guard your peace, you must become the gardener of your own thoughts. Weed out the negativity, prune the doubt, and plant seeds of courage, love, and hope. Speak to yourself with the kindness and respect you would give a beloved friend. Affirm your worth, your strength, and your resilience. When you speak gently to your own soul, you create a sanctuary that no external force can penetrate. Another way to protect your peace is to be intentional with your presence. The people you allow near your heart, the media you consume, the environments you inhabit, all of these affect your emotional state. Surround yourself with individuals who uplift, encourage, and inspire you. Choose communities that celebrate growth rather than gossip, that offer support rather than criticism. Limit your exposure to the toxic energies that seek to drain your spirit. There is no shame in removing yourself from situations or relationships that constantly threaten your serenity. Protecting your peace sometimes means walking away from people you once loved or environments you once tolerated because your well-being is worth more than the approval of others. Time, too, is a sacred ally in the protection of your inner peace in the chaos of modern life. It is easy to fill every hour with obligations, distractions, and the demands of others. Yet without quiet, without reflection, without moments to just breathe, the soul becomes fatigued and the heart becomes restless. Dedicate time each day to stillness, to meditation, to contemplation, to the simple act of being present with yourself. In these moments, you reconnect with your spirit, you recharge your strength, and you anchor yourself in a space where external chaos cannot reach you. Boundaries are essential in this sacred practice. They are not walls meant to isolate, but fences meant to protect. They tell the world, this is where I end and you begin. They allow you to engage fully with life while refusing to be consumed by it. When you know your limits and honor them, you preserve your energy, maintain your emotional balance, and prevent burnout. Boundaries create the space where your inner peace can flourish, where your mind can remain clear, and where your heart can remain open without being overwhelmed. Finally, protecting your inner peace is a practice of self-respect. It is the declaration that you will not let chaos, negativity, or fear dictate the terms of your life. It is the recognition that your soul deserves calm, your mind deserves clarity, and your heart deserves gentleness. Every choice you make to guard your peace, whether it is saying no to unnecessary drama, stepping away from toxic relationships, limiting exposure to negativity, or tending to your thoughts, is an act of love toward yourself. You honor your spirit each time you refuse to allow the storms outside to disturb the serenity inside. Protecting your inner peace is not an act of selfishness. It is an act of survival, an act of wisdom, an act of courage. It requires vigilance, discipline, and sometimes sacrifice, yet the reward is immeasurable. When your inner peace is intact, when your soul feels safe and nurtured, you become unshakable. The world may rage, the storms may howl, the voices may scream, but you, grounded in the calm of your own being, will stand unbroken, steadfast, and luminous. Practicing gratitude daily is one of the most powerful ways to transform your spirit, reshape your thoughts, and soften the weight of life's burdens. Gratitude is not simply saying thank you when things go well. It is learning to whisper appreciation, even when the world feels unkind. It is a quiet, steady practice of recognizing the beauty that exists, even in imperfect moments. Gratitude is the gentle hand that lifts your chin when life tries to bow your head. It is the reminder that even in the darkest rooms, there is always a flicker of light waiting to be acknowledged. When you wake each morning and choose to notice one small blessing, your breath, your heartbeat, the chance to begin again, you open the door to joy that was already waiting for you. Gratitude does not change your circumstances, but it changes your relationship with them. And that shift alone can change everything. To practice gratitude daily, you must first learn to slow down. Life moves quickly. Storms approach without warning. People disappoint you, and responsibilities pile high. Gratitude requires you to pause, to breathe, to observe your world with softer eyes. When you slow down, you begin to see how much goodness surrounds you. Unnoticed, unspoken, unclaimed, the smile of a stranger, the warmth of sunlight on your skin, the memory of someone who once loved you deeply, the lessons hidden inside your struggles. These moments become anchors, keeping you grounded in a world that loves to pull you in every direction. Gratitude invites you to say, I see this, I value this, I am thankful. Practicing gratitude does not mean ignoring your pain. It means refusing to let pain blind you to every blessing you still have. Sometimes life breaks you open, leaving you raw, vulnerable, and questioning your worth. In those moments, gratitude becomes a medicine, soft, slow, and healing. It reminds you that even though you are hurting, you are still here. You are still breathing. You still have people who care for you, opportunities waiting ahead, and strength you have not even discovered yet. Gratitude is not denial. It is light shining through the cracks of your heart, showing you that even broken places can glow. There are days when gratitude may feel forced, when your heart feels too tired to appreciate anything. That is when the practice becomes even more important. You do not practice gratitude because life is perfect. You practice it because life is unpredictable. You practice it because fear is loud, doubt is heavy, and stress comes uninvited. Gratitude becomes your shield, a quiet defiance against everything that tries to pull you into darkness. Even on the hardest days, finding one thing to be grateful for, just one, shifts the energy of your entire spirit. It may be something small, the comfort of your bed, the taste of warm tea, the memory of a joyful day, the sound of your own laughter. Small blessings matter. They are the bricks that build an unbreakable, hopeful heart. Practicing gratitude daily also strengthens your awareness. When you begin to appreciate the simple things, your eyes naturally open wider to the world's hidden gifts. You become more observant of kindness, more receptive to joy, more connected to your emotions. You start to see how people show love in quiet ways, a gentle check-in, a hand that reaches out, a word that lifts your spirit. You notice how many times life gave you chances, how many storms you survived that once felt impossible, how many miracles were disguised as ordinary days. Gratitude sharpens your vision and expands your soul. Another part of daily gratitude is forgiving yourself. So many people carry guilt from their past, regrets from choices they made when they didn't know better, wounds that have not fully healed. Gratitude helps you release the grip of self-criticism. When you appreciate how far you have come, you stop punishing yourself for who you once were. When you thank yourself for surviving, for showing up, for growing through pain, you make peace with your journey. Gratitude allows you to honor your resilience and acknowledge your progress. It becomes a powerful reminder that you are evolving every day. Gratitude also transforms relationships. When you begin to express appreciation, openly, sincerely, consistently, people feel seen, valued, and respected. Small words of gratitude create connections that last. They soften tension, dissolve misunderstandings, and nurture trust. A simple thank you becomes a bridge, reminding others that their efforts matter. Practicing gratitude daily strengthens bonds and fills your life with meaningful, heart-centered relationships. Living with gratitude means choosing to focus on abundance instead of lack. It means recognizing that even when life feels incomplete, you are still surrounded by countless things worth cherishing. It means trusting that every day offers a new blessing, a new chance to love, a new opportunity to become better. Gratitude shifts your mindset from scarcity to fullness, from fear to hope, from bitterness to grace. It teaches you that joy does not come from having everything. It comes from appreciating what you already have. When gratitude becomes a daily habit, you begin to carry a different kind of energy. People notice the peace in your voice, the softness in your presence, the glow in your spirit. You radiate calm because your heart is anchored in thankfulness rather than chaos. You move through challenges with strength because you are constantly reminded of everything that still supports you. Gratitude makes you unshakable, steady, and profoundly alive. It becomes a quiet revolution within your soul, reminding you that happiness is not found in circumstances. It is created in your perspective. Breathing before you react is one of the simplest yet most transformative practices you can ever teach yourself. It is a pause, a moment of quiet rebellion against the rush of emotion, the pull of impulse, the heat of anger, and the sting of hurt. Life will present you with countless situations that provoke you, challenge you, frustrate you, or push you beyond your comfort. And in those moments, your instinct may be to respond immediately, to defend yourself, to argue, to strike back, or to speak from a place of wounded pride. But that instinct, though natural, often leads to regret. A breath, just one deep and intentional breath, creates the space you need to see clearly, think wisely, and act with strength rather than emotion. When you choose to breathe before you react, you give your mind permission to settle. Your thoughts stop racing. Your heartbeat slows, and your emotions begin to soften. What felt overwhelming just seconds ago becomes easier to understand. The breath separates you from the chaos of the moment and brings you back to yourself. It reminds you that you are not controlled by your circumstances. You are guided by your awareness. This single pause can prevent conflict, protect relationships, and preserve your dignity. It gives you back your power at the very moment life tries to take it from you. You see, emotions are like waves. They rise suddenly, crash loudly, and then fade. But if you let the wave control your response, you will be speaking or acting from the highest point of force rather than the calm after it. The breath helps you outlast the wave. It allows you to make decisions from a centered mind rather than a stormed heart. When anger burns, a breath cools it. When sadness pulls you under, a breath lifts you. When worry suffocates you, a breath reminds you that you are still here, still capable, still steady. Breathing before reacting also teaches patience. It teaches you that not every situation needs an immediate answer. Not every comment requires a comeback. Not every provocation deserves your energy. People may try to trigger you, not because they have power over you, but because they want you to lose your power over yourself. That breath becomes your shield. It tells them without a word that you are not so easily moved. You are rooted, grounded, thoughtful. You choose your responses with precision, not emotion. There's also wisdom in the breath. When you pause, you give yourself the opportunity to see beneath the surface. You begin to understand the intention behind someone's words. You recognize when a situation is not truly about you, but about someone else's pain, frustration, or insecurity. You learn to hear not just what is said, but what is meant. This deepened awareness prevents unnecessary conflict and emotional confusion. The breath helps you decode life in real time, transforming your interactions into lessons instead of battles. Breathing before reacting is also an act of compassion toward yourself. When you rush into a reaction, you burden yourself with the emotional aftermath, the guilt, the overthinking, the regret, the self-blame. But when you breathe, you treat yourself with care. You give yourself a moment to choose the path you won't have to apologize for later. That moment protects your peace. It protects your heart. It protects the version of you you're trying to become. And consider how many relationships could be saved, how many arguments avoided, how many misunderstandings softened if people simply pause to breathe before speaking. So many conflicts arise not from truth, but from the heat of emotions. A breath allows truth to settle in, allows clarity to rise. You begin to speak from understanding instead of accusation, from wisdom instead of fear. The breath becomes a bridge between two hearts, softening the conversation, creating space for real communication instead of emotional explosions. Breathing before reacting also helps you reconnect with your purpose. When life throws chaos your way, you can lose sight of who you are. You forget your values, your strength, your intentions. But when you pause, when you breathe deeply, you return to your center. You remember your worth. You remember the kind of person you want to be. Calm, grounded, graceful, powerful. The breath becomes a reminder of the identity you are choosing, not the identity circumstances are trying to force upon you. This practice trains your nervous system to respond rather than react. Over time, your body learns that peace is your default state, not panic. Your mind learns that clarity is possible even in difficulty. Your heart learns that it does not have to rush into defense every time it feels threatened. The breath becomes your teacher, your healer, your steady companion through every storm. The more you practice pausing, the more natural it becomes. Eventually, the breath comes before the impulse without effort. And that is when you know you have gained mastery over yourself, when you breathe before reacting. You shift from being driven by emotion to being guided by intention. You learn to navigate life with grace, to handle conflict with strength, to move through challenges with wisdom. The breath gives you back the power that emotions often try to steal. It reminds you that you are not here to be ruled by circumstances. You are here to rise above them. The pause becomes a quiet revolution within you, turning chaos into clarity, anger into understanding, and reaction into conscious choice. Speaking to yourself with kindness is one of the greatest acts of self-love you will ever learn. It is a gentle reminder to your soul that you are human, that you are growing, that you deserve grace just as much as anyone else. When you speak kindly to yourself, you rewrite the story the world has tried to place upon you. You challenge the echoes of past criticism, the memory of harsh words, the weight of old mistakes. You remind your spirit that it is worthy, that it is strong, that it is capable of healing. The voice inside your mind becomes the environment your heart lives in, and when that environment is nurturing, Your entire life begins to soften and glow. Speaking to yourself with kindness does not mean becoming blind to your flaws, but rather approaching them with compassion instead of cruelty. Many people grow up absorbing negative messages, things they were told, things they witnessed, things they internalized. Over time, these messages become the inner voice that whispers self-doubt, judgment, and fear, but that voice is not your truth. It is simply a reflection of every wound you have carried. To speak kindly to yourself means to dismantle those old patterns and build new ones with intention. It means telling yourself words you wish someone had spoken to you long ago. It means looking at your reflection and choosing to see your potential instead of your imperfections. The kindness you offer to yourself becomes the foundation of your confidence, your strength, and your emotional resilience. When you speak to yourself with kindness, you no longer punish yourself for being imperfect. You begin to understand that mistakes are not signs of failure, but stepping stones of growth. You stop replaying the worst moments of your life in your mind and instead start acknowledging the times you survived, the times you rose again, the times you carried yourself through storms when no one else knew. You learn to give yourself credit, to recognize your progress, to celebrate your quiet victories. Your inner voice becomes a friend instead of an enemy, a guide instead of a critic, a light instead of a shadow. Kindness in self-talk also creates peace within your mind. When your thoughts are filled with harshness, your heart becomes heavy. When your thoughts are filled with kindness, your heart becomes lighter. A gentle inner voice reduces anxiety, soothes stress, and calms the nervous system. Kind self-talk teaches you how to comfort yourself in difficult moments, how to breathe through emotional pain, how to remind yourself that you are safe. It becomes a source of strength when the world feels overwhelming. You develop the ability to internally say, it's okay, we will get through this, and that alone can shift your emotional state from panic to ease. Speaking kindly to yourself also improves the way you interact with others. The way you treat yourself becomes the standard for how you allow others to treat you. When your inner voice is cruel, you unknowingly tolerate cruelty from others. But when your inner voice is kind, you naturally begin to expect kindness, respect, and understanding from the world around you. You set stronger boundaries because you know your worth. You let go of relationships that drain you because you no longer believe you deserve to be hurt. You surround yourself with people who speak life into you because that is what you now offer yourself. Another part of speaking kindly to yourself is learning how to forgive. You forgive yourself for the times you trusted the wrong people, for the days you stayed silent when you should have spoken up, for the moments you settled when you deserved better. You forgive your younger self for not knowing what your older self knows now. You forgive the version of you who acted out of fear, confusion, or loneliness. Forgiveness is a gift you give to your own heart, freeing you from the chains of regret. When you speak to yourself with kindness, forgiveness becomes a natural extension of love. Your self-talk shapes your identity. Every time you say, I can't, your spirit shrinks. Every time you say, I can try, your spirit expands. Words are powerful, especially the ones you whisper in the quiet of your mind. If you constantly criticize yourself, you dim your own light. But when you speak kindly, you feed your confidence, your ambitions, your dreams. You create an inner world where hope grows, where courage blossoms, where joy becomes easier to access. You begin to trust yourself more deeply, to believe in your abilities, to take risks that align with your purpose. Kindness towards yourself also teaches you patience. You stop rushing your healing. You stop expecting instant perfection. You start honoring your pace, understanding that growth takes time. There are days when you will feel strong and days when you will feel fragile. Speaking kindly to yourself allows you to accept both. It lets you move through life with gentleness, giving yourself the same compassion you so freely offer to others. You acknowledge your feelings without shame, allowing them to exist without drowning in them. Speaking kindly to yourself means choosing words that uplift rather than words that destroy. It means catching yourself when your thoughts turn cruel and replacing them with gentler truths. It means looking in the mirror and seeing someone worthy of love, someone deserving of rest, someone capable of greatness. It means being your own source of encouragement, comforting yourself when the world feels cold, lifting yourself when your spirit feels heavy. The kindness you speak internally becomes the water that nourishes your soul, allowing you to grow into a stronger, wiser, and more compassionate version of yourself. Seeing challenges as teachers is a mindset that transforms your entire experience of life. Instead of viewing difficulties as punishments, failures, or signs that you are losing your way, you begin to see them as powerful guides sent to shape you, strengthen you, and refine the wisdom within you. Every challenge carries a lesson, and every lesson carries a gift. But you can only receive it if you choose to look with a mind open to learning rather than a heart closed by fear. Challenges come to every life, not to break you, but to reveal who you truly are beneath everything you thought you needed. When you shift your perspective and look at your struggles as teachers, the weight of life becomes more bearable, the pain becomes purposeful, and your resilience deepens in ways you never imagined. Life's challenges often show up uninvited. They interrupt our plans, shake our comfort, and force us into places we did not ask to go. Yet those same moments are the very catalysts for the greatest growth. Without challenges, you would remain the same. You would never discover edges of strength you didn't know existed. Challenges test you, yes, but they also teach you what you are made of. They stretch your heart, sharpen your mind, and deepen your spirit. They reveal your blind spots, illuminate your fears, and push you toward becoming someone wiser, braver, and more grounded. When you begin to see challenges this way, life becomes less of a battlefield and more of a classroom. Every challenge has the potential to teach you patience. When things don't go your way, when obstacles slow your journey, when progress seems impossibly slow, you learn how to wait without losing hope. Patience is not passive. It is the strength to endure without giving up. Challenges teach you to trust timing, to understand that not everything must happen immediately, and that some blessings require preparation before they can arrive. They teach you to breathe through frustration, knowing that the process itself is shaping you. Challenges also teach humility. They remind you that no matter how strong, smart, or capable you are, you cannot control everything. They teach you to let go of arrogance, to accept help when needed, to acknowledge your limits without shame. Humility is not about shrinking yourself. It is about understanding your humanity, recognizing that growth often comes through vulnerability. When challenges humble you, they create space within you for a deeper form of strength, rooted in honesty. There is wisdom in the way challenges reveal your wounds. When difficulties arise, they often touch the parts of you that still need healing. A challenge in relationships might expose old insecurities. A challenge in career might reveal fear of failure. A challenge in self-worth might surface hidden beliefs that you are not enough. These moments feel painful because they bring buried emotions to the surface, but they are also opportunities for liberation. Every challenge that exposes a wound is also offering you the chance to heal it. When you approach challenges as teachers, you stop avoiding your pain and begin confronting it with courage. Seeing challenges as teachers also cultivates resilience. Resilience is built not in the easy days, but in the difficult ones. Each time you face adversity and choose to rise, you become stronger than before. You learn how to adapt, how to stay grounded, how to move forward even when your heart is heavy. Challenges teach you to trust your ability to survive, to rebuild, and to begin again. They remind you that you have endured things you once thought impossible, and that you can endure again if life demands it. Resilience grows through repetition, and challenges are its greatest mentors. Challenges also teach you gratitude. When life becomes difficult, you begin to appreciate things you once took for granted. The peace you had, the opportunities you enjoyed, the people who supported you. Gratitude deepens when comfort disappears. And when the challenge eventually passes, you value the return of calm even more profoundly. This awareness makes you more present, more appreciative, more attuned to the beauty in everyday life. Another powerful lesson challenges bring is clarity. When everything is going well, it's easy to lose yourself in routines, habits, and relationships that may no longer serve you. But when a challenge arrives, it reveals what truly matters. It shows you who really stands with you and who only stayed for convenience. It shows you which dreams still ignite your spirit and which ones you were only chasing to impress others. Challenges strip away the unnecessary and highlight the essential. Through hardship, you discover the truth about yourself, your priorities, and your purpose. Challenges push you to grow in ways comfort never could. You learn new skills, develop new strengths, and acquire new wisdom. You become more creative, more resourceful, more courageous. Growth requires discomfort, and challenges offer that discomfort with purpose. They force you to stretch, to evolve, to redefine your limits. And each time you grow, you move one step closer to the person you are meant to become. When you see challenges as teachers, you no longer run from difficulty. You meet it with curiosity. You ask yourself, what is this trying to show me? What strength is this trying to awaken in me? What lesson is hiding beneath this frustration? This attitude shifts your relationship with life itself. Instead of feeling like a victim of circumstance, you become an active participant in your own growth. You stop resisting the inevitable and begin learning from it. Challenges do not come to destroy you. They come to transform you. They come to break patterns, to reshape your thinking, to build your character, and to prepare you for blessings greater than what you are ready for today. When you embrace them as teachers, you step into a deeper kind of wisdom, one that sees life not as a series of obstacles, but as a journey of becoming, guided by the lessons hidden inside every difficult moment. And when you finally understand that every challenge is shaping you, guiding you, and strengthening you, you stop fearing the storms and start walking through them with your head a little higher, your heart a little braver, and your spirit a little wiser. You realize that life has never been against you. It has always been teaching you how to rise.